So, Avenged Sevenfold. One of the most divisive bands in all of metal history. Divisive in their sound, their image, their names as well. I mean, their choice of stage names. Imagine thinking, I'm going to call myself Sinister Gates. That's a cool name. I bet he's really not regretting that now he's a middle-aged 40-something guy with a family. But anyway, names aside, they sounded like nothing I'd ever heard before. It's like this mix of sort of like the metalcore stuff. You got all these sort of like harmonized dueling guitars and like shredding guitar solos and these like big epic arrangements. But they had that sort of like MySpace gothy image kind of going on as well. Because they look like this and people just saw them and thought, oh, they're just like some fucking like emo garbage. And I was like, are we listening to the same band here? What's going on? Like, huh?
Before we go any further, I just want to let you know that I'm now offering a 7-day free trial for my online guitar school. Unlock the entire archive of super fun lessons, exercises, and content, as well as Discord access and guided weekly mentoring from me. Click the link in the description below to visit Bradley Hall's Guitar School and sign up today for free.
So, Avenged Sevenfold is an American heavy metal band from Huntington Beach, California. The band's current lineup consists of vocalist M Shadows, rhythm guitarist Zachy Vengeance, Sinister Gates, Johnny Christ, and Brooks Wackerman. There is no way that's his real name, because like he's a drummer, right? And what do drummers do? They whack things. He's a whacker man. Back in the OG days, we had the Rev. God rest his soul. He was like the real powerhouse behind Avenged Sevenfold's songwriting team. Right, man, Avenged Sevenfold. Because I want to know like how they got these fucking names. There's got to be some like badass story behind it, right? Sinister Gates came up with his name during a drunken drive through a park where he reportedly screamed, "My name is Sinister Gates, and I am awesome." Avenged Sevenfold all acquired their own nicknames they possessed from high school. Zachy Vengeance wanted to get back at those who doubted his potential growing up. Man, this sounds like some fucking like anime arc going on here. What is this? Frontman M Shadows chose the alias because he thought of himself as the darker character in the group. So, it's time to have a little journey, a traversion throughout their entire discography. We'll have a little skim through, listen together, see what we think, and then we'll work together to come up with our own definitive ranking. So starting with sounding the 7th trumpet. Yeah! Cool solo to start the album off. Nice little vocal melody from Matthew fucking Shadows. Yeah, so this album is just like a fucking through and through straight up metalcore album. It doesn't have all like the details and the finesse. These harsh vocals are like super cool. Yeah, the clean vocals are a bit weird. Yeah, that's not bad. What's that, the ballad? Oh yeah, too primitive, not enough creative and good. Right, moving on. Waking the Fallen. This album is a fucking masterpiece. It's just it's just insane to think that they went from like piece of shit to Waking the Fallen, which is like one of the fucking best metal albums of all time. It's so like fucking all over the place and like genre bending. I guess we'll start with like the obvious one, right? So like this is like, you know, the definitive 2000s metalcore riff. Walk away. You know, you compare this to like modern metalcore breakdowns. This sounds like the fucking like pansiest shit in the world, right? Chapter 4, it's epic. And that's another sort of like very trademark thing that Sinister Gates does. Over choruses, does a kind of like a melodic sort of lead line. And that's like something that he's got from Slash. Yeah, sort of thing. It's an amazing album. It's so cool. It's like incredibly well written. It's a very interesting mix of styles. What's after that? We have City of Evil. City of Evil contains a more traditional heavy metal and hard rock sound than Avenged Sevenfold's previous two albums. Matt sort of like mostly stops screaming, all that sort of shit, where it's all like I'll be on my way. I'm sure most of you are aware of, I don't know, Backcountry. I was very confused because it was like a massive sort of like mismatch in my head between like what I was seeing and what I was listening to. This is one hell of a fucking band image, holy shit. Yeah, so like this album is like fucking all over the place, man. You got Sidewinder, it's got like the crazy like acoustic dueling. I don't love it as much as some of the others. Everything's going 200 miles an hour. It's like loads of solos and loads of like everything. Loads of crazy amounts of vocal layering. It just gets a little bit much. That's like my only complaint with this album. It just gets a bit tiring. Moving on. Self-titled album. Its songwriting is like on another level. Easily their most experimental album. Critical acclaim. So many dum-dum riffs in this album. And this is definitely the best Matt ever sounded vocal-wise. It's like he ditched the annoying nasal shit from City of Evil. Yeah, this song is fucking weird. It just mashes up so many different sounds. It's like, on paper, this should not work. This song should be awful. Absolutely awful. It's crazy. So Diamonds in the Rough. While the CD contains previously unreleased B-sides, plus covers and other never be heard. So it's basically leftover songs from like the self-titled album sessions. Crossroad, I think this song's alright. My favourite on this album is Dancing Dead. Right, moving on, we have Nightmare. They got Mike Portnoy. It has that more sort of like restrained, slower feel, but it has a bit of that bombast and like shreddiness and a bit more faster songs. I always thought it was like really goofy and dumb the way Matches yells Nightmare at the start of the song. It's like, oh, that's the name. Oh, Fiction. Oh yeah, this is the piano one. And it was the last song that Rev wrote for the album. And there, when he handed it in, he said, that's it. That's the last song for this record. And then 3 days later, he died. Oh. Right. After this, we have Hail to the King. So, Hail to the King is the 6th studio album by Avenged Sevenfold. The album was a commercial and critical success, reaching #1. Wow. For this album, they opted for more sort of like a classic heavy metal sound. Anyway, it's got some fantastic riffs. That's a fucking loud kick drum. It feels like you're listening to a really old, like, 80s album, right? And of course, everyone knows Hail to the King, right? I guess they had enough fooling around with normie metal bangers, and they were like, ha! That was all a ruse just to get fat stacks of cash. We've decided now we're actually a prog band. First concept album with its main theme based around artificial intelligence and self-destruction of society. That's like the well-known song. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a really straightforward metal song. Like, it's not very proggy at all. Paradigm. Swear, man, like, Matt is just a fucking melody maker. He can just, like, shit out amazing vocal melody. Oh! Mwah! Mwah! Now to the last one. It came out last year. I guess Hail to the King made that much money that they could just afford to, like, sit around making NFTs for 7 years. It seems to really be like a love it or hate it thing. This album, it sort of like goes beyond prog. It's not really a prog album. Progressive prog. Post-prog. There we go. So, start from the top, game over. This is easily their darkest album. Thought Nightmare was dark. Holy shit. Every song is either about like death, suicide, or like existential crisis. Of course, Nobody. This is probably the best Sinister Gate solo of all time. Oh, right. Here we go. It is time for the definitive Beanley Hole, Avenged Sevenfold, and Community ranking. Wakey, wakey. So, S tier all the way down to bin. Sound of the Seventh Trumpet. Sound of the Seventh Trumpet is fucking garbage. It is absolute trash. It's awful. Songwriting sucks. Mix sucks. Vocals suck. Fucking sucks dick. It's so bad. Not creative, like, at all. It's just awful. Sorry for, like, the old school fans who are, like, really into that shit. It sucks. It's really bad. Moving on. Waking the Fallen. This is an easy one. The definitive melodic metalcore classic. Probably the best album of that genre. It's an S. It's an easy S tier. Right, City of Evil. Like, this is a difficult one for me. Amazing album with a ton of really, really cool songs, but it's very, very overblown, very bloated album. Gets a little bit tiring to listen to. You know, too much of everything, which in my opinion, like, maybe just knocks it off the S tier spot. I'm gonna stick it in high A for now. All right. Self-titled album. In my opinion, probably sort of pure songwriting wise, this is probably the band's pinnacle. Though it is very, very cheesy and very goofy album. I understand it's not for everyone. I flip-flop between self-titled and Waking the Fallen as my favourite. Look at that. It looks so nice next to each other. See, it was meant to be. Living in harmony, as all things should be. All right, Nightmare. I think it's S. I think Nightmare is a low S. I forgot how good it is, actually. Like, re-listening to some of these songs really made me appreciate it again. Oh, we missed out Diamonds in the Rough. Right, where's Diamonds in the Rough going? D or a C, I guess? Because, like, Diamonds in the Rough has a few good songs. We'll put it as a C for now. Hail to the King. Hail to the King. If this was like just like a sort of a regular metal butt rock band, Hail to the King would be like real high. It's not what I want out of an Avenged Sevenfold album. I don't want to hear these sort of like, you know, straightforward old school metal songs. It's boring. It's objectively pretty good, like songwriting wise, it sounds good. I think B. B sounds fair. Alright, it's getting tricky now. The stage. Like, there aren't really, like, any super stinky songs on it. For some reason, there's something about the stage, it just doesn't really, like, excite me as much as a lot of the other albums. It's definitely an A tier. It's a sick album, but it's not as good as City. Alright, this will be tricky. Life is But a Dream. Where are we going to stick this bugger? Life is But a Bean. This is a difficult one to rank because it's so new. You know, it's only like... Is it even a year old? It's probably not, is it? But I think it could be an S in future with time. I'm moving City of Evil to a low S tier. Yeah, there you go. This is good. This is it. So, I think this is fair. My gut instinct was to put, like, City of Evil as an A. It's the defining Avenged Sevenfold sound, right? Like, the City of Evil sound is sort of like a lot of people think as definitive Avenged Sevenfold, right? So what do you guys think? Is that a fair ranking? How many of you are outraged? There we have it, guys. The definitive Avenged Sevenfold deep dive.